Welcome to Cicely Radani, your home for spiritual insight and entertainment. My name is Courtney of Cicely Radani. Today we're going to find out what people are realizing about you. You can choose for a specific person, or you can open up to a broader message of what people in general are realizing about you. There are three options. Pile number 1, take the next step now. Pile number 2, sentimental feelings. Pile number 3, retirement. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any juicy readings such as this. And if you like what you hear today and you would like to inquire about a personal reading with me, there's more information about that in the description box below. Thanks so much for tuning in, and let's move forward with pile number 1. Hey pile 1, if you chose option number 1, take the next step now from the Butterfly Oracle deck, here's your message about what the people or person on your mind is realizing about you. I'm going to start off by just reading the card at hand. With the message, take this next step now. Clearly, I see that people feel like you're no longer in a stage of stagnation in your life. Maybe in the past, you avoided kind of listening to your impulses, listening to your heart, following your passions. Maybe you even stifled your joy, or you stifled your pain. You weren't really open to your feelings in a way that kind of benefited you in creating the things that you wanted to create, doing the things you wanted to do, like going after the maybe career paths or the people that you wanted to go after. But people see that you're kind of getting out of your own way and you're finally doing those things that you had put on the back burner for so long. And I see that people kind of notice that you're a little bit more self-focused and protective of yourself and your passions. So maybe you spoke a lot about your goals in the past, but you avoided taking action on them, and now people see that you're a little bit quieter about your moves and you're actually doing them without talking about them. I also see here with this pinky purple energy, people really recognize your intelligence, especially your emotional intelligence, and how that's helping to propel you forward. Whereas maybe in the past, people didn't know you because maybe you didn't express yourself, or maybe you didn't even know yourself as deeply, but people are starting to understand those more intimate parts of your mind and your heart. So you might be expressing yourself more rather than just identifying with your goals. Maybe you're keeping your goals to yourself and embodying them while you allow your true self to shine through a little bit more. And finally, with this kind of light blue color in the back, what I see there is just giving me some confirmation about you expressing yourself more. So people feel a little bit closer to you. So even though you're more protected and protective, it's like the people can tell that these boundaries that you're setting are actually allowing you to be more of who you are and allowing you to show up better even in their lives. And just a huge emphasis on that concept of joy, of motivation. It's like you're protecting and harnessing that motivational, joyful energy. All right, so let's move on to the tarot to get some really clear messages about that. What are people realizing about my pile number 1s? What are people realizing about my pile 1s? One card at a time, please. What are people realizing about my pile 1? What are people realizing about my pile number ones? What are people realizing? One card at a time, please. What are people realizing about my pile number ones? Please clarify strength. Yeah, this is already confirming what I was saying before. Please clarify Page of Pentacles. Please clarify Ace of Pentacles. All right. Bottom of the deck, the High Priestess. Let's see if you can see that in the frame. All right. Oops. Alrighty, so people definitely see that you're doing a lot of work behind the scenes because they're seeing the results, but they don't really see you like necessarily taking the action. Either that or they see you working really hard, but it's still, they can tell that like there's some power within you that's a bit like unknown. And they feel like your power doesn't come from like physical labor or like working hard, even if it's like intellectually working hard. Your power comes from, it's like an inner strength and an inner power that's a bit more intuitive. So like I was saying before, they're realizing how emotionally intelligent you are and how that's propelling you forward. But they realize that you did work for it. It's just, since it's a different kind of strength and since it's a different kind of skill that we're not really taught to harness in like school or in mainstream society, they don't understand the work that you've done, but they realize that you've done a lot of work in that vein. And they see you moving on to new horizons. They feel like you're very crafty and lucky. And although they know that you worked for it, it just feels like things come easy and effortlessly to you. And they realize that maybe in the past they thought that you didn't know where you were going, but even when it seems like you don't know where you're going, you are kind of like moving as you go, but it works for you. It's not completely like, it's not without, it's like you don't necessarily need to plan so much. It's because you've harnessed the intuition. So you're not being guided by these conventions. Not that you don't implement them, because I see you do make plans, you're very resourceful, you're very responsible, you dot your I's and cross your T's, but that's not where you put the bulk of your focus. That is a complement to the intuition. So you allow your intuition to guide you. You don't always know where you're going, although you do make the proper preparations in order to just be, like stable, rooted, grounded in the world and to have what you need in life. But it's like you don't have to put so much effort and focus into it. It's just like you touch on it and you just go, because you have this faith and intuition that guides you, and you are called to be more versatile and agile and flexible, adaptable. They realize how adaptable you are, and that it's not being irresponsible, it's not foolish. It is a skill in a way, and it's not the main focus for you, and it's not your calling to be so focused on like the physical things in life or the material things in life. People are realizing about you that you are turning over a new leaf, that you're entering a new stage of life, that although maybe in the past you were developing these intuitive abilities or these skills, or you were really in your shell, or you were hiding and harnessing your inner strength. And now you're reaping the benefits of that, but also you're stepping into a stage where you are implementing and applying the skills that you've developed towards kind of a higher level of success. So maybe at one point it was just enough to get by, and then now it's being elevated into truly going after your dreams. People are realizing that you are well taken care of, that you are extremely, like, the world is your oyster. You're very creative, but you're also very deep and insightful. And that you're being supported and that you have what you need. All right, so I'm going to pull one last message for you, pile number one, about what people are realizing about you from the Animal Kin Oracle. What are people realizing about pile number one? What are people realizing about pile number one? We got Crab Trust, number 14. Bottom of the deck, Woodpecker Opportunity, number 39. So yeah, like I was thinking here, that people are recognizing that more opportunities are coming to you, that you're creating them and you're harnessing them. And it's a very like fertile time of life, and you have all the support that you need, and they're realizing the wisdom that's required to that was required to get you to this point, but also that you're just getting started. All right. Let's go ahead and read this animal message. Number 14. Crab Trust. Choosing vulnerability is the most direct path to growth. The crab is the ultimate symbol for putting on a tough exterior, wearing an emotional suit of armor, and exhibiting defensive and aggressive behavior. The crab teaches us that while resilience is essential to thriving emotionally, physically, and mentally, it's equally important to honor our soft, malleable, delicate, and precious inner and outer beings as well. Their ability to walk sideways makes it easy for crabs to avoid oncoming threats and dodge obstacles with ease. Crabs communicate with each other using waving and drumming motions with their pinchers. They trust in these unique abilities to help them maneuver through life's obstacles and stay connected with one another. Crabs teach us to trust that while there are others out there ready to lend their support, only you can truly help yourself move through the challenges and constant changes in life. Crabs remind us of the importance of protecting our whole selves, and although we must often move from one place to another physically, emotionally, or mentally, we have to trust in the process in order to survive and thrive. In doing so, we are on a frequency that is helping us to realize that we have outgrown that which is familiar to us, and to trust that in moving on, whichever direction we go, we will learn and grow as we move forward. The crab shows us that when we trust in the fact that we will be protected and supported wherever we choose to move, we become the best possible version of ourselves always. Definitely. I see people are recognizing the foresight and strength in that emotional intelligence that you've been working on, and they see how that is giving you the strength to be flexible and to be adaptable, and that's why you're reaping these benefits and rewards in your life. People are realizing that you have an immense amount of love within yourself, cultivated for yourself first, but that it's greater and deeper than that. It's a spiritual kind of love. And they see you communicating that more and more, and they realize that no matter what you've been through, and although you may seem kind of guarded, that love is ever prominent within you. People realize that you trust yourself so much to meet life where it calls you, like to change and grow with the seasons and with the tides. They see this immense adaptability, and they respect it. I see maybe in the past they thought that you just didn't really know what way you were going, that you were sweet, but you were a little bit dense. And now they realize that was actually your strength. And the rewards that you're receiving from trusting yourself. People realize your intuitive abilities and your talents, because they see you sharing them. Anything else? People see you as resilient. They're realizing you're impenetrable. So I'm sensing some people really have tried to kind of hold you back, stifle you, or maybe they just doubted you, and they're seeing that no matter what they've done or what life throws at you, you have the ability to sidestep it, like the crab. Finally, oh, by the way, you may be a Cancer, because crabs are the symbol of Cancerian energy. And with this orange, yeah, they see that you're very centered and rooted. So where they may have felt like you were ungrounded in the past, they realize that you actually are, you very much know who you are, where you're going, maybe even more so than the average person, because they realize that your path and your actions are not dictated by worldly things. You have built your sense of self and your inner compass on faith, something that withstands no matter the circumstances. And so now they're starting to see you as some kind of leader and someone with really clear insight. I think that's a good place to close our message. I'm going to get one more card of insight for you. What is the advice or insight for pile number one? What's the insight? One card at a time, please. What's the insight or advice for pile number one? Aspire. Find photos of the place where you would like to work or sketch it. Stick these images on a special board and look at them every day. Draw your business card that you hope to have one day and pin that on the board too. Know that it will soon be yours. Yeah, so I was getting something about maybe some of you want to relocate, or some of you want to take that next step now. And I see that you're already doing it. And then this is just encouragement for you to kind of maybe, you know, you're at this place with your goals, and there's, to get to the next step, you're guided to act as if, to kind of map out the direction that you see yourself or your business or your goals or your travels, whatever it is, the direction you see yourself going, to kind of work it out, sketch it out, create the structure, and you will live into it. You will look back on your vision board, you will look back in those journals, you will look back at those spreadsheets that you've created, and you will see that you have given and spoken direction and created direction for the energy in your life to flow. So that is my final message for you, pile number one. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know how this resonated with you below, and I will see you next time. Hey, pile two, if you chose Sentimental Feelings from the Butterfly Oracle deck, here's your message about what the people or person on your mind is realizing about you. All right, pile number two, first thing I see here, there is a lot of sacral energy, but it's also really subtle, more intimate energy here. So I feel like people are starting to realize their deeper romantic feelings that they have for you. Pile number one. They're realizing just how important you were to them in their life. How much you sacrificed for them, how pure you were, and how much they yearn for you. So it's a little bit less about you, and it's more about the feelings that people are having for you, and how much you motivated and inspired them for a lot of you. Or they're realizing the value of your presence in their life, and how much you cared for them, and how much you just having you in their life made them feel safer. So it doesn't have to be romantic, but it's this intimacy. So they're realizing like the capacity that you had to connect intimately with them, even if only on an emotional level. And for a lot of you, it will be on an emotional level, but I'm just feeling this energy of tenderness. And they're realizing that this is not something that you can get from anyone, anytime. That the love that you share is really special and really unique and really pure, and that your intentions with them have always been the purest intentions, coming from your heart, but so pure and almost godly. They're realizing how pure you are. And they're realizing how sacred you are to them, but just in general, like you're a sacred person. And they see that like the fruits and the flowers that come from your heart center are always good. That's how they feel. And it's not that they thought that you had negative intentions in the past. They just thought that you were overly emotional, but they're realizing how mature, emotionally mature you are. So maybe you've become more emotionally mature, because I do see this element of growth. But yeah, and they're realizing the value of that. And they miss it so much. So they're reminiscing on old times with you. All right, let's get into the tarot. what are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing? One card at a time, please. What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? What are people realizing about my pile number twos? All right. Let's make sure it's all in the frame. All right. So first thing I feel here, people realize that, you were trying to build with them. You were trying to create something hopeful, optimistic, positive with them. And they were just trying to get over on you. They realized they didn't have the same emotional capacity that you had. And they realized the vastness of what you had to offer. They realized that they didn't trust you and they didn't give you a chance. And they thought that you were kind of not here. You were here for a good time, not a long time. And so that's how they showed up with you. And they really regret it. Because in hindsight, they see that all the signs were there. You were offering everything, but you were offering everything to them, and you were offering it with pure intention. But it's this big feeling of hindsight being 20/20. And they see that now, they realize that now you're closed off to them. They didn't recognize that capacity you had to withstand your staying power. They're realizing that they took you for granted. But that now, they realize that now, like that you recognize that in them, and you pulled your energy back. Because they thought that you were giving of yourself, your heart, whatever you were sharing with them, your emotions. They thought it was cheap. They thought it was free. They took it for granted. They didn't see the value of it, or they thought that you didn't see the value of it, or they thought that that's just how you treated everyone. But they realize now that since you've taken it back, that you respect yourself, you respect your heart, and they see it as even more valuable. And they feel insecure in comparison. And now they want to build something with you. They want to rebuild that friendship, or they want to learn from you because they didn't see the depth. In what you had before. And they didn't realize, they thought that you were just a really frivolous person. And they realized that, you had a lot of insecurities that maybe they didn't take the time to get to know you. And you didn't take the time to let them know you, because you kind of clocked it. Like, you saw that they didn't respect you, and you pulled your energy back and you started to do that work on yourself to be taken more seriously, or started to take yourself more seriously. So although they do like miss you, I don't think that they'll blame themselves that much, because I think they feel like it happened the way it was meant to happen, all in all. Because I see that maybe you were very young, or they were very young, or you both were, and they still see you as being young, but you're showing up like in a much more mature way now. They feel like it's night and day how mature, they realize how mature you have gotten. But they feel like you're holding back that youthful spirit that you once had. You're definitely holding it back from them. Like, they don't get to see it anymore. But they realize that you're building yourself up materially and emotionally. You're working on those insecurities. They realize that you're so young, yet so accomplished. They had no idea the value that you had. And I'm getting the concept of capacity a lot. So it's like they saw your more subtle talents and skills that were not yet honed. And I think that they felt like you just were wasted potential. Either that, or you were just like so young and a dreamer. And now they see that you probably had so much more value. Even when they knew you, you had probably already like harnessed a lot of that potential, even when they knew you. Because they see you as like dang near the King of Pentacles, like the highest level of kind of like success. Kind of like a boss energy. And being so young, and they realize that to be where you are now, you probably already had a lot of these, had been working on these talents and skills in the background. And they didn't even recognize it. But it was right in their face. And they just took it for granted. They did not know your value. But they realized that it doesn't bother you. That like you don't take it personally. You don't let it weigh you down. And they realize that you have developed a method and a skill for working through your insecurities. And that they were acting out of their insecurities with you. And that they don't even necessarily know how to get past them. They don't know how to get past those insecurities, especially not as quickly as you do. You've got it down to a science, and that's why you're in this boss energy. And they realize that you have always been extremely loyal, and that loyalty started from within yourself. And you just have so much more life to live, so many more. If this is how you transform, they've seen one transformation, like they just wonder like where you'll go and like how many more stages you have and levels you have to accomplish and fruits you have to bear. And they feel really lonely without you. They feel like it's just me, myself, and I kind of energy. I don't know if they've yet to move on. But they realize that you have, to new and better horizons. Cool. That was deep. It's kind of sad. I am going to get an animal oracle message to further this message. All right, what is the message for my pile number 2s? What is the animal message for my pile number 2s? What is the, all right, giraffe perception. Number 45, bottom of the deck. We have owl, intuition, number 58. Yeah, I feel like they're really having a spiritual awakening related to knowing you and their perception of you. And they're kind of seeing, because at the beginning I was getting this message that hindsight is 2020. And so they're seeing how limited their perception was in the past and how they were taking things for granted because they weren't grounded in their intuition. So let's read a little bit further. And they realize that you don't carry dead weight. So that was the feeling that they were getting in the past about thinking that you were a frivolous person, because they saw that like things worked out for you, but they thought you were just kind of lucky and that you were also kind of like not disloyal, but they see that you're so loyal. It's just that you don't carry dead weight and you have a really clear perception and a clear intuition. And so if some space or something doesn't feel right, you're not going to settle into it. But you offer that because you have that space within yourself. You're loyal to yourself. And only because you're loyal to yourself can you be loyal to someone else. And they realized that they weren't honoring you. And so that's why you had to move on. Number 45. Yeah, because they were dead weight in your life. I'm sorry for like being so like harsh, but that's how it's coming through. And it's like, it's really deep and it's really sad too, because I feel like you guys had a really deep bond and they never honored it. And they felt like it was a dime a dozen, or that you were just like some, like, I don't know, that you weren't worthy of it. But they didn't realize that was like real, genuine love that could have been cultivated. And that they didn't realize like how they thought you were just like sensitive. And so that's the energy that they felt between the two of you. And that they could find anyone else who was just sensitive and it would have that same sacred feeling between them. But that's not the case. Like, you had a really strong bond that they didn't honor. And you guys like had like these, you know, you could get really intimate. Like, you felt really safe. Like, there was a bond there. So let's read this. The greatest point of understanding is in our ability to see things from all angles. The giraffe's distinctive elongated neck provides it with the highest perspective of all land-dwelling creatures, urging us to change our own perspective if we feel stuck. The giraffe has adapted to be able to survive for several days without access to water and instead hydrates its body from the moisture in the leaves that it consumes. Thankfully, due to its height, the giraffe can reach leaves that are out of the reach of their savanna-dwelling companions. Giraffes teach us to make the most out of every situation and to find gratitude for the lessons and gifts that life presents to us. It is a myth that giraffes don't have vocal cords. They actually communicate by using low frequencies to cover long distances. This shows us that often the most gentle forms of communication are the most effective and can reach further. Their stature allows for them to have clear view of danger and to also get creative with the way in which they choose to express themselves. Every giraffe has a unique spot pattern, like an individual fingerprint. We are reminded by the presence of this to celebrate our imperfections and unique qualities and to see that we each have our own unique place in this world, regardless if we look similar from afar. Yeah, they didn't respect your uniqueness, but they're starting to see the bigger picture of who you are and who you were in their life, and they realize that you had this greater perception. And they're grateful for you and the gifts that you offered them. And yeah, they feel like you have this like higher vantage point, and that's why you didn't express your full loyalty to them, that they now see that you have, and that you must have always had it, but they didn't get to see that quality. But they did feel the sacredness, and they wish that they had been able to feel that deeper intimacy with you of the loyalty that you have the capacity for. Yeah, okay. Finally, let's just get just a little insight for you personally to close the reading. All right. What is the insight from my pile number 2's? Camper. Every day, do at least one thing that you truly love and which brings you joy. Revel in what you're doing, even if you can only spare a few minutes for it. This will benefit your health. Yeah, pile 2, I see that you have cultivated this really special energy that you have, this really sacred energy, by taking that time out every single day to be with the more subtle feelings within yourself. We all have that natural capacity, but it's something that you've cultivated. And so you are called to harness that energy more and more and more and really grow that power, grow that sacred power that you have by doing what brings you joy. Doing what you love, because that is the energy of love and joy, which has such a huge impact on your nervous system and all of your body systems, like a positive impact. But it's not only you, it's that vibration that you will carry and that will spill out onto the world around you. So thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, comment below, let me know how it resonated with you. If you'd like a personal reading with me, the link is in the description box below, and share it with anyone who you think may be interested. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you so much for joining Pile 2. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose the retirement card from the Butterfly Oracle deck, here's your message about what the people or person on your mind is realizing about you. All right, pile number 3. First thing I see, the person or people on your mind, they're realizing that you have an immense depth of passion that's rooted in love and faith. They're realizing that you walk by faith, not by sight. And even when things are fuzzy, you don't lose your way and you don't lose your kind of action power. You're someone who is able to take action no matter what. And maybe since this is the retirement card, maybe you've overcome so many obstacles that like nothing can bring you down. You have this confidence to you, to where you know that you can overcome any obstacles because you've had to overcome so many obstacles already in life. Excuse me. Yeah, you're resilient. They're realizing, because my tea, I remember reading my tea earlier, it says you're unlimited. And I'm recognizing this air of resiliency to you. And wisdom. But you have so much life left in you. So maybe they're realizing that you're ending one chapter, but that doesn't mean that you're over. That you'll always start anew, and there's so much like passion and life left in you. And they're realizing that that makes you even more beautiful. The fact that you have had, like, you've completed cycles, you've committed to things, you've loved, you've lost, you've, been part of teams, and those times have come to an end, but then you still keep going. That makes you even more beautiful. All right, let's get into the tarot messages here. Yeah, and that you have a heavy heart is something that I'm picking up on. So, great. Yeah, wow. What is the message? What are they realizing about my pile number 3s? What are people realizing about my pile number 3s? What are people realizing about my pile number 3s? What are people realizing about my pile number 3s? Please clarify Queen of Cups. Please clarify Six of Swords. And one card at a time, please. What are people realizing about my pile number 3s? What are people realizing about my pile number 3s? Yeah, let's make sure it's all in the frame. They're realizing that no matter what, like, you're gonna be grateful, you're gonna live your life, you're gonna live a good life. They realize that you've been through many cycles of having to let go, but like who your people are. Like, you have people there for you that are your stability and your comfort and your safe place. Like, you have a healthy support system. So they can't, although you are a very passionate person, you love really hard, you really care, it's like they realize that they can't make you feel in a state of lack. They realize you're more mature than that. Maybe they're realizing you're more mature than they gave you credit for. And that you're very fair, be that physically fair or like emotionally, mentally, principally fair. Like, yeah, you have strong principles and you're a fair person, but you're not just fair to others, you're fair to yourself. And that comes from a space of self-love but also having people that, cultivating relationships with people that love you, because you are a very relationship oriented person. So they see that you've been able to cultivate that mutuality with others in your life, and that you already have a healthy foundation of that. So the things that you're going to add into your life are going to be things that enhance your life. And though you may develop like strong feelings and emotions for people, it's not that you can't like break those bonds, because they're not coming from an unhealthy place of lack or needing them. It's coming from a place of just pure love and desire for them. And so they want to learn from you. They're realizing they want to learn how to do that from you. And they're realizing that you know how to move to new horizons and when to let go, and that sometimes things come to an end, and that although it's sad, you're at peace with that, because you know that like it's only like God is only going to bring you from choppy waters to smoother waters. So they realize that maybe if something's ending in your life, yeah, you're sad about it, but you're not crushed, and you're not like, this isn't the end of you, and you know it's not the end of you, but that you are maybe for some of you have kids, and so you have to be in a place of abundance, because you have to overflow to give to people around you. So you can't spend time feeling destitute and broken and empty and like you need something or you're lacking something, because you have people relying on you. But that the efforts that you've put in the past, because maybe this has to do with career and not a specific person, so it's like they realize that the efforts that you put into the past, like you have something to show for it, you have something to share, and maybe you have something to put into, like to invest into some new endeavor. So maybe now like you're ending one career, but you're like stepping into maybe a passion project or a new phase of career, or you're starting your own business. Even if you're too young to retire, you're just putting to rest a phase of your career to start something new. So maybe this could be like a company that realizes that, you know, you won't be destitute without them. You have a support system. You have something of value to offer to others. So, you know, your value is not dependent upon that relationship. Your value is not dependent upon that career or that company, but that your value is within yourself, like something that you've already cultivated or something that you have created, and they realize that you're going after that. So maybe you are sad about whatever has ended, but like you are moving on to something that's more in alignment for you, and you know that. They realize that you know that you're moving on to something that's right for you in leaving that behind. All right, let's clarify a bit with the animal oracle message. All right, what are they realizing about my pile number 3s? What are they realizing? I'm also getting that this message could apply definitely to pile 1, but maybe even to pile 2. So if you felt drawn to any other readings, please go check those out. What are they realizing about my pile number 3s? One card at a time, please. What are they realizing about my pile number 3s? What are they realizing about my pile number 3s? Forgiveness, yeah, you're letting you let things go. You're a hard worker. Owl intuition. You're stable. And your stability comes from inside. See, number 15. Forgiving yourself and others opens you to love and freedom. Dogs are the domesticated descendants of wolves. As pets and companions, dogs have long been associated with loyalty, empathy, and fun and happiness. As a wild animal, dogs are agile hunters with the ability to run long distances without tiring, tapping into their inner determination to override their physical exhaustion and continue forwards. Wild dogs work with their pack to coordinate hunts, defend their territory, and care for their young. They also make time in their lives for play. Dogs have heightened senses, sensitive hearing, a keen eye for movement, and the ability to respond quickly. They are eternally trusting, faithful, and forgiving beings to those they share their life with. Their ability to embody unconditional love makes them the ideal teachers of the practice of forgiveness. No matter the circumstances, a dog has the ability to choose to live more in the present and to take any opportunity to give and receive love and companionship. Dogs are well known for their ability to give love and affection freely, often without expectation. They are incredibly intuitive with heightened senses that allow them to connect with our soul essence, choosing to be guided by the energy and intention behind words and actions rather than by their literal meaning. Yeah, they realize that you see right through them, and you forgive, but you don't forget, and you allow yourself to start anew. You have the capacity for connection, for building those deep bonds and relationships that last. So if something ended between the two of you, they feel like it's on their side. They feel like you're not holding a grudge. You can let bygones be bygones. Yeah. They realize that you're not holding a grudge towards them. They're realizing that you guys can start afresh. If this is a person or like people, like a group of people, they're realizing that you have the capacity to like start fresh with them. You're not holding on to resentments. And so maybe you can put the past to rest and move forward. They're also realizing that you have like this really strong and powerful mind, and that's part of your protection energy. That's part of what keeps you safe, and that's part of what makes you so resilient. It's not like a big and bold, like brash kind of fighting energy. It's more of a mentality. You have a really strong mentality, and so you can take on a lot, but it doesn't burden you so much because of the way that you perceive it and the way that you process it, and also the way you've learned to let go, which is such a beautiful skill to have. I'm really getting a strong sense that a lot of you could be blonde in this pile or have like lighter hair, lighter skin. That's really popping out to me. But it doesn't have to be. So, but yeah, I think also the like yellow hair and like it's talking about fairness, because like fair can also be used like for fair complexion. So you're just because we also have the renewal card, which is traditionally the judgment card, which can be like for lawyers and judges and like things like that. So this concept of fairness is really present as well. Yeah, so let's get one last message for you. We're gonna pull just a little insight for you personally. So aside from the reading, just something that you can kind of take with you and embody. moving forward. What is the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight for my pile number 3s? What's the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight for my pile 3s? It says heal. If you want to cure an ailment or disease, avoid thinking or talking about it. Keep saying, I'm in perfect health now. Thank you for my perfect body. Know that you are being healed right now. I feel like you guys have that power to heal yourself, and you leverage it. And, you know, like for me, like Jesus heals, right? And a lot of that healing power comes from spirit. And your spirit, if your spirit is heavy because you're holding on to hate or pain, like you cannot access your healing abilities. You cannot access your spiritual abilities. And so I realize that you guys, people are realizing, I'm realizing too about y'all. Y'all have this ability to heal yourself that comes from being light. And you need to realize this about yourself as well, like just how powerful you are. You know that you're resilient, but you don't know the depth of your healing abilities in a spiritual sense. So say your affirmations and declare to yourself, I'm in perfect health now. Thank you for my perfect body. Or say that about whatever it pertains to in your life, whatever ailment you have. And it doesn't just have to be physical, but that is a great expression of what your healing abilities, like it's a great like manifestation to prove to yourself like just how strong your healing abilities are if you heal some ailment. So if you have some pain in your body right now, speak it away. I'm in perfect health right now. Thank you for my perfect body. Thank you for the ease in my body. And you can release what's there. And you might even notice sometimes when you have some ailments in your body, if it's just a minor ache or pain or something that maybe, you know, maybe you've gone to the doctor about and there's no like real cause, got it checked out. Maybe it's psychosomatic, and maybe you can kind of feel into it, see what emotions are there, see what thoughts are there, and you can start to let them go, and you can take power over them by speaking healing energy into them and forgiving whatever you're holding on to in your body. So that's what I get for you guys, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get a personal reading from me, the link is in the description box below. Please like this if you found it, you know, entertaining or helpful, and comment. Let me know how it resonated with you. Share it with anyone you think is interested. And I really appreciate y'all, and I'll see you next time.